Hey, what's up you guys? Well, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole. If you're wondering why I have no makeup on today and why my hair is up in a bun, I wasn't feeling the most confident today, and I actually had makeup on and I had attempted to do my hair, and when I got to filming and just looking in the camera, I was like, I really don't like this. And I was super, I guess I'd say self-conscious, and I'm not feeling the greatest. And I know it's kind of really backwards, because I mean, I wouldn't say most girls, because I don't think that's how that works, but ideally, you think if a girl is you think that if a girl is self-conscious, she'd want to put on makeup and stuff, and I didn't. I wanted to shower and take all my makeup off and just be me. So this is Nicole without makeup. This is how we're gonna do today's video, and there's probably gonna be videos like that anyway. This is what I look like, so whatever. If you are new here, I'd say probably check out one of my other videos first, probably my Fema Cat video or something. Today I'm gonna be reading a Reddit story, and if you want something a little bit more interesting, I'd say go do that, because today is a little bit different than usual. But today we're going to be reading a Reddit story because I was clearly underprepared for life. So thank you guys for bearing with me. I love you guys so much, literally so much. So I'm just going to stop talking and we're just going to start reading, okay? So this is on Reddit No Sleep, again. And this one is called Do Not Go Near the Water in Kansas. So it says, I made a mistake, a stupid mistake. I'd like to think that I'm not a complete moron, but I do stuff like this and it becomes clear that I am. Girl, same. I'm an avid no sleep reader, and I noticed several stories over the past few weeks about trouble with the water in Kansas. A woman had water eat through her hand, a guy's tongue dissolved, and another person's face melted off. This immediately piqued my interest. They spelled peaked wrong. Anyway, this immediately piqued my interest as I live outside of Kansas City. Nothing exciting ever happens here, so I thought it'd be fun to do some exploring and perform a little amateur investigation. Like I said, big freaking mistake. My neighborhood seemed unaffected by this possible outbreak. The neighbors were fine, and I'd been showering and drinking tap water with no problems. So I opted to drive around a few different suburbs and look for any signs of trouble. It only took about 15 minutes before I noticed something a little unusual. There was a small water park that had no cars parked outside of it. This was midday in June. It's hot, and the weather hit the 90s in early May, and today was another hot day. The pools all open around Memorial Day, and they're usually fairly packed by this time. A bit strange that it was empty, but no huge red flags. I pulled into the parking lot to check the signs and see if maybe it had an unusually late opening date. As I approached the park, I noticed something that made me start to feel uneasy. A quirk of this particular pool is that it's immediately next to the city police station. They share a parking lot. The odd thing was, there was not a single police car in the lot. Even if the town public pool was closed, obviously the police station wouldn't be, and as I mentioned, nothing exciting really happened in this area. If there had been any incident serious enough that all units had to respond, the news would have spread like wildfire. So where were all the cops? If there was a major problem, why was it being kept quiet? When I started out my little adventure, I didn't expect to find anything, but now a growing suspicion that something was not quite right here began kicking in. Instead of any kind of self-preservation instinct taking over, my determination to get answers grew. I walked over to the pool entrance. My first move was to look for a sign listing the open date and hours. Sure enough, it said it would open Memorial Day weekend. My next move was going to be to figure out a way to get in, but the presence of the police station, though seemingly deserted, stopped me from doing any breaking and entering. All I could really do was peek through the gates, and I don't know why my voice is cracking so much, sorry guys. It was odd. The main pool, hot tub, kiddie pool, all of them were drained of water, and yet sun chairs were out and it looked set up to be open and running. A quick Google search on my phone yielded no results that would explain a delay in opening. There wasn't anything else to do there, so I went back to my car. I paused briefly, debating whether or not I should see if the police station doors were open, but ultimately decided against it. There was no reason for me to be there if questioned, the cops make me nervous. I was only vaguely familiar with this area, meaning I had no set destination in mind. Driving aimlessly led me to the pool, so I figured doing it again made as much sense as anything else. This time, it only took a few blocks for something else that fed my suspicions. There was a creek that had been closed off at the end by orange cones and caution tape. I quickly pulled over and marched towards it to take pictures. Even after looking around the area a bit, I couldn't see anything dangerous that would cause it to need warnings up. The end of the creek was off a sidewalk, and there were no holes in the concrete. No spray paint on the ground indicating electrical work. Nothing. I was walking around the sides to look for something there when I heard loud rustling in the nearby foliage. My head quickly jerked up in the direction of the noise. There was a man in a protective mask and heavy gloves standing there, frozen. Our eyes locked and he blanched, then abruptly bolted over to the water, threw a metal can in it, and then ran off into the brush. Everything else I could reasonably explain, but that was freaking weird. I had to see what he tossed in the creek. I started moving to where he had been standing, looking for an access point to the water, and I saw a mostly empty plastic tank left behind in the grass. I badly wanted to grab it, but it pretty clearly had some kind of chemical in there that I didn't want spilled on me. Near the place where I saw the tank, I spotted a path to the creek that wasn't too overgrown with bushes and trees. I carefully made my way down the bank, taking care to avoid any snarled branches that could trip me. I arrived at the water. Strangely, it was fairly shallow, but I couldn't see the metal thing he'd thrown in there. It was a decent enough size that it should have been easily visible. The water level was low enough that I could walk on the rocks to look around it. I gingerly stepped on the rocks, making sure I didn't accidentally fall in the water. Then I heard what sounded like a croaking frog, immediately followed by a nearby splash. I felt a cold burst of water hit my leg, and then binding pain. I'd never felt anything like that. Imagine the worst heartburn you've ever had. Now, imagine throwing up that acid into a fresh, open wound that's stinging hot pain that I was feeling. Panicking, I scrambled out of there as quickly as I could without getting any more water on me. The agonizing pain in my leg made it difficult, but adrenaline pushed me through. I was in tears by the time I was finally back in my car. Whatever hit me had eaten right through the denim of my shorts and created a gaping hole in my thigh. I immediately headed straight to the nearest hospital. I was hysterical by the time I reached the ER, panicked, hiccuping, making it harder to tell the triage nurse what was going on. But when I told her that some creek water burned through my leg, she shot out of her chair. Fail-paced as she told me to have a seat and someone would come by to get me soon. Less than a minute later, a woman walked briskly into the waiting area. "Catherine?" she called out. I nodded and stood up. "Right this way," she said, moving quickly towards the double doors. Instead of doing the usual intake and getting my vitals, she put me into an isolation room right away, telling me someone would be right in to see me. And that's where I am now, waiting. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm scared. My leg looks terrible. Here's a picture so you can get an idea of the damage caused. I wanted to write this out to make sure everyone knows that there's something very wrong going on here, and most importantly, to warn everyone, to warn you to stay away from the water. Don't be an idiot like I am and investigate these stories on your own. I wish someone had warned me, not that I would have listened. I guess it's true what they say. Curiosity really did kill the cat. I actually really hope that there's a follow-up to that story. I want to know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in Kansas, but that sounds really scary, and I don't know what jumped out at her, but that sounds honestly really scary. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys like these stories and want like follow-ups to these when they do come out and updates and stuff like that, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I have a goal right now to get to 300 subscribers. As of the last time that I checked, I'm at 273. So I am 27 subscribers away from 300 subscribers. So if you guys could please share the word, let your friends know to subscribe. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. I do post every Friday. Make sure to head over to my featured channels and check out my friend Boncho 50,000. He streams daily. I also stream on Twitch now, but you can find me at twitch.com/NicoleMoonYT. Everything you can find me at NicoleMoonYT. So yeah. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.